Blender has a major new version coming out, but there's a catch. It's actually on the iPad.
What are you doing here?
I'm just using Blender on the iPad.
No way.
And this isn't some watered down version of the app either. The plan is for a full version of Blender on the iPad, with Android devices coming later. Now you might be thinking, that's cool, but I don't care, I don't plan to use tablets. But this could still affect you in a positive way as well as a desktop user, and we'll talk about that more in this video as we go through the timelines, the plans, and show some examples that they've already shared with us. And also, thanks to a new feature they added in Blender 4.5, I think this could be a major win for texture artists. We'll talk about that more at the end of the video, but let's dive in and take a look at the development of the iPad. Now, they actually already have a version of Blender working on the iPad, and they're actually sharing it at the SIGGRAPH Tech Conference as a tech demo. Now, this is not currently publicly available, however, that is coming soon. If you want to follow the actual timelines, many people don't know this, you can actually subscribe to projects on projects.blender. I'll link to the project here for the iPad in the description below so you can follow that officially. But let's talk about the order of things. They actually gave us an article recently on developers talking in depth about their plans. And if you dig through the project notes here, you'll even see that there are mentions of cycles. So I think when they say full version, I think they mean everything, even cycles rendering, though time will tell. Now, they are developing it in pieces. So first up, they're going to be focusing on sculpting first. To me, this makes perfect sense to start here, as I think this is going to be one of the best use case scenarios for Blender on a tablet. If you've ever used a pencil on a tablet device, you know that it's a really comfortable way to work as a creative. There's actually already some great sculpting apps out there. I've been experimenting with Nomad Sculpt, which is very performant and has very intuitive gestures. And then ZBrush also just moved their software over. So I'm excited to see Blender moving into this space, and with the innovation that comes from the developers in the community, what they can bring new to the tablet space and make the experience more seamless. Now, after sculpting, they're going to shift focus to grease pencil development, which I think is one of the most innovative but also underused tools in the creative industry. Now, I've had the pleasure of working with artists from some of the top studios in America, and a lot of them have expressed interest to me in grease pencil, but they've been intimidated by the overall idea of jumping in Blender as a 3D application. So what I think here is that with the iPad bringing about a new, probably simpler to use interface, we're going to see a whole host of new users join in on the Blender community, which is always great for development. Now, next up, they've actually given us a preview of what the interface on the iPad could look like. Now, I've already seen Blender users saying that they just hope they add keyboard and mouse support, which would be great, but I also hope that they lean into the tablet's gesture-based system and provide us with an interface that really works on mobile. And to express why I believe getting this interface right is so important, I want to talk about an app that does it really well, and that's Procreate. Now, I've had the pleasure of working in the industry with top clients and top brands all across America, and I can say that almost every illustrator I work with has primarily shifted over to using Procreate as their primary tool for illustration. And I believe that's largely due to the intuitive and easy to use gesture controls that makes it feel like you have a notebook in your hands, but also gives you the advantages of a digital app. And I think that if Blender can pull this off in the same way, we could see Blender making tablets become the standard for sculpting, texturing, and tools like grease pencil, which would be really amazing for artists. Now I'm going to pause for a moment there. In the beginning of the video, I said that even if you don't care about tablets, you should still care about the fact that this is being developed, and I want to explain why. Already, if you look through the developer notes, they've mentioned that by developing on platforms, they've actually already found ways to improve the desktop version. Now, as they completely experiment with new UI and ways to optimize Blender, I think we're going to see a lot of improvements on the desktop version as well. To make sure that the sculpting works on the iPad, they'll probably have to optimize performance more. And I guarantee that those performance gains will carry over to the desktop version. Likewise, as they revisit the UI to make it more easy to use and intuitive, I bet we'll see improvements on the desktop version as well. So even if you're not interested in the tablet version, be excited that this will probably lead to improvements on the desktop version for you as well. Now, in the beginning of the video, I said that one of Blender's new features could make it the standard for texturing. We're going to get there, but I want to make one last point about Blender being on the iPad that I think is really important. And that is the seamlessness of switching between mediums and tool sets. So if you noticed, most of the apps I've shown so far that I love to use are exclusively for the iPad. And many industry standard software is exclusive for the desktop. Whereas with Blender being the same version on both, you can seamlessly switch back and forth. For example, you could model in Blender on the desktop, open it to finish sculpting and texturing on the iPad, where it'll be easier with a pencil. And then you can just reopen that project file on your desktop and use raw render power to render your image quicker. This is something that many other softwares don't have the advantage of, and this could really make Blender stand out in the creative world. Now, in the opening of the video, I said there was a mystery feature that they added in Blender 4.5 that I believed could make Blender an industry standard for texturing, and I'm talking about the randomization features that they added in brush creation. So if we look at other softwares with great brush settings, we can see Procreate, Photoshop, or Substance Painter, and they have access to randomization, spacing options, and textures. And thanks to this Blender 4.5 update, we now have access to all of those features when creating brushes. And I think that once we release on the iPad as well, we're going to see a whole host of artists experimenting with creating new brushes. And I think that as we build up these custom brush sets over time, utilizing these new features, Blender could actually become a standard for texturing on the iPad. What do you think? Have you found any good brush packs that you like? Share them in the comments below.